Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at kind of an aggressive trade here, but let's get our orders all taken care of here first. Got our stop in place, get the targets all set out in the correct spot here. So first target is going to be right back down to the bottom of the cloud here. Second target's going to be just above the top BMT. Final target's going to be just above the second BMT. So looking at this trade here, the reason why I really like how this pattern looks right now, if we get our 60-minute chart up, we're actually running directly into a very strong area of supply. I have it marked with this red line cutting across here, but we came up into this 1161 even and have been basically rejecting it the entire time. Now, the chart pattern that we're actually trading on the entry chart over here is actually just a really, really fast double top pattern that's firing off at these highs. Now, that double top pattern is aggressive. This is a counter trend trade. It's an aggressive trade. That's why we're being so conservative on our targets here. But I mean, keeping that in mind, the trade itself is setting up in a perfect spot. We're coming into 60-minute resistance, as you can see here, this line here at 1161. We got a nice double top pattern to fire off. Our risk is only 60.7 to 61.7. So we're looking at 10 ticks of risk versus our first target coming off right around 14 ticks or so. That's two contracts off at 14. So we're already locking in over half of our overall risk with just two contracts. So really, really good place to be. Second target's coming in just ahead of this top BMT here. That one's actually going to give us 23, and at that point we've taken out 3 contracts and we've locked in our overall risk on all 4. That gives us our final fourth target down here at 1157.1, at least currently, as basically a freebie versus our initial risk. So the overall trade itself is setting up in just a perfect spot, and this is exactly what we love to see, especially a double top right at that 61. That's perfect. So got our first target taken out here. Let me just bump my stop to break even. And we're actually falling pretty hard here coming into that first target, and got that second target filled there, not a problem. Coming into that third target, let's get this adjusted so we're on top of that BMT there. And we'll see if they have what it takes to fall down. This is actually turning out to be a relatively quick kind of trade here. Now, typically when we run into this first BMT up here, you're usually going to see a little bit of bouncing. We might fluctuate a little bit and then come back down and give this one a retest. If that's the case, there could be another opportunity for a fast scalp right up here in that pullback area just to come back down again. Since we're already in from up here at these highs around 61, we're pretty much in where we want to be regardless. But just a couple different ideas here. Now, we do have this swing low here at 57.5 that we might have to, I mean, we're only a tick away from it, so we're just going to put it right on top of 57.5, see if they can drop down and give us that final target there. Now, you know, if we do start breaking through that, we've had a relatively strong sell-off. This happened all really, really quickly. It might be a little bit of profit taking, but with the strength that we're seeing here, it might be a little bit more than that. We might be seeing the sellers really starting to step in and push this thing lower. If that's the case, if you do have more on the table, you might be able to trail it down a little bit further and see what you can pull out of it. Let me get my trades on here. So far, we got short. We actually had a split fill here. We had 3 at 60.7 and 1 at 60.8. I'm not sure which one is the last one, so we'll just take worst case and just say that the first target was that one. Either way, we're basically going to gain a tick on one of these. So we're looking from our entry here, 60.7 down to 59.3, as we can see here. 59.3 gives us our first target of 14 ticks. Next target from our entry took one contract off at 23, and we'll just say we'll take the worst case scenario here and make one of those 13. There we go. And then the final target, if we get filled down here, we're looking at 57.5 for another 32. So this trade could potentially be really, really strong, especially just the fact that we got in expecting, you know, maybe 5-10 ticks, not a whole lot out of a quick little counter trend scalp. I really obviously wasn't anticipating that firm sell-off up there, but that's the kind of reaction that we love to see around those supply and demand zones. So looking at the sellers, I might not even have to pause this one. Looks like they're coming back down. See if they can give that one more shot just at that 57.5, see if they can get that filled. But so far, we've locked in 14, 13, and 23. Now we're just looking to get that final target there at 32. And if that is the case, I don't want to cover that up just in case they do drop. Looking at 14, 13, 23, and if they get to 32, we'll be sitting on 82 ticks on the trade. Really gorgeous little counter trend scalp if we can get that last one here. So just giving the sellers a couple seconds here. Might have to pause it, but hopefully they'll be able to drop it here really quick. And there we go. Perfect. So didn't have to wait too long on that one. Dropped straight back down right into our final target, 37.5, and that gives us an overall just fantastic counter trend trade. Now, not every counter trend trade is obviously going to work this well. You know, typically when you're counter trend, that's why I take my first target off at the bottom of that cloud, because there's a really big possibility that's just going to bounce right back up to a new high again. Definitely a possibility. You've got to be careful of that. So taking your first target off just ahead of there, and then moving your stop to break even to lock that potential out, that's exactly what you want to do on counter trend stuff like this. In this case, there was continuation. Got the next target filled, got a little bit of a bounce off that BMT, but then quickly snap right back down, getting us that final fill there. And it looks like the sellers do pretty much mean quite a bit of business here. We're dropping below the BMT now. That's usually a sign that we might be dropping a little bit further, but that's going to be the trade for today. 82 ticks on the trade, definitely not bad, especially for just a counter trend one. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade, and don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.